Hello everyone. So today we are starting with our top 150 interview questions on DSA, which is on LeetCode. And the first question which we are going to do is question number 169, which is on Murray's voting algorithm. So let me first read you the question. The question says that given an array nums of size n, return the majority element. The majority element is the element that appears more than n by 2 of the times. You may assume that majority element always exists. So we don't have to think about the case in which what if the majority element didn't exist. Majority element is there. Okay. So first before coding we have to see what is Moore's voting algorithm. So let's see what does Moore's voting algorithm says. So the Moore's voting algorithm says now that it takes two variables. One is candidate, you can see here, one is candidate and other one is count. What Moore's algorithm does now, it takes the first element of the array and set it to the candidate. So the candidate has the first value of the array. Now we initialize the count to be 0. After this we use a for loop where we start from 0, we go till the length of the array, till the last element, and we increment the value of I after every loop. So first of all, what it says now, if it checks the condition that if my candidate value is equal to the value at nums at I. If it is yes, then it will say count plus plus. It will increase the number of the count. And if it is no, if the value of candidate is not equal to the value present in the array, then it will say do the count minus minus, and it will decrease the value of the count by 1. And while decreasing the value of the count, if there is a condition that the count becomes 0, then what Moore's algorithm says now that if count becomes 0, then update the value of candidate with the nums of I. That means update the value of candidate with the value of the array, and then also set the value of count to be 1. And then again, if after setting the value of count to be 1, we are again resetting this loop, and this will again go back to the for loop until the for loop is not violated. Until the for loop is not violated, it will go again inside the for loop. It will again check the condition, whichever condition satisfy, it will do that calculation, and at last it will come out of this for loop and it will return the value of the candidate which has the maximum element. Okay, so let's just see an example and you will get what I'm saying. Okay, so here we are having an array. We have 1, 2, 2 and 3. uh, uh, just by looking you can say that maximum element is 2. Okay, that means the candidate is 2. So but we have to write the algorithm and we have to see what we have to do now, how it is working. So first, as I told you, we will do candidate is equal to nums I, and then count is equal to 0. Then we will use a for loop, and then we will do this condition that if the value of candidate is equal to num I, then we will say count plus plus, and if it is not, then we will say count minus minus, and in case the count becomes 0, we will do these. We will update the value of candidate and then count to be 1. Okay, if you guys are having any problem and doubt, you can just go and see this algorithm, and I will also code it, so don't worry. Just see, for example, we are going to see this. So let me make a table here. Okay, for this will be the value of I am going to take. Okay, this will be the value of candidate, and this will be the value of count. Okay, so for I is equal to 0 now, let's see, I is equal to 0. The candidate value, we all know that candidate value is again from starting it is nums of 0, that is 1. Okay, and count is 0. Now it will go inside the for loop and it will check that is my candidate equal to this value 0. is my candidate is 1 equal to 1? It will say yes. Then what it will do, it will increase the value of count by 1. Okay, so at I equal to 0, candidate value is 1 and count is 1. Okay, now at I equal to 1, when I equal to 1, it will go inside the for loop. Again the I will value will increase and it will go inside the for loop, and inside the for loop it will check that if the condition is true or not. So it will check that is my 1 equal to 2? It will say no, it is not. It is not equal to 2. So it will send it to the else condition, where we have to minus the value of count. Now the count has become 0. Count minus minus count, our count was what? 1. Now 1 minus 1, that is 0. So if the count becomes 0 now, here see here, if count becomes 0, then we have to do candidate, we have to update the value of the candidate, and then we have to again reassign the value of count to be 1. Okay, so going back to the example, so here value has become 0, so we will say the candidate value will become now now a candidate will become what? 2. Now my candidate will become 2, and my count will again become 1. So at I equal to 1, now my candidate is 2 and count is 1. Again I will check at I equal to 2 that is my candidate is equal to this value. Yes, it is 2 and 2, so my candidate will become same. If it is 2 and if it is same, there is no change in the value of candidate, but the count value will increase. Now the count value will increase by 1, that is the count will become 2. Now at I equal to 3, it will again check that is this candidate value, that is 2, uh, candidate value is 2, okay, you can see from here, is equal to 3. It will say no. Is my 2 equal to 3? It will say no, and then it will send it back to the else condition, where we have to decrease the value of count by 1. So the count will become 1. Okay, and now is there any update in value of candidate? No, because why there is no update? Because we were making update only when the count is becomes 0. Okay, but you can see, as you can see here, after doing the minus minus, after passing through the else condition, the count is 1 only. Hence the candidate value will change, and the candidate value will be 2. At last it will come and return the candidate value, which is nothing but the maximum element in the array. So you guys got the point, I think. What is the basic thing is that we are taking two variable. I think you guys have got the point what I'm trying to say, and what is Moore's voting algorithm. Okay, so let's just code it. So the coding part is easy. You can see the coding part is easy. I will just come here. Yeah, okay. So I will say int, let's just say candidate only. Int candidate is equal to, I will say nums, or that is nums of 0, and then int count is equal to 0. Same, we are using a for loop, so for int I equal to 0, I should be less than what? Length of the array, I plus plus. Now we are checking the condition. If the value of candidate is equal to nums of I, then we say increase the value of count. We come out of this if condition and we give the else condition. Else, if this is not the case, then decrease the value. As simple as that. But check, while decreasing the value, check that if my count has become 0, then we have to update the value of candidate. Then the candidate is equal to nums of I, and then count is equal to 1. If this, okay, So after that we come out of this else loop, we have to come out of this for loop, and then we simply say return candidate. Yeah, I think it should work. Let's just see. Just run it. Okay, there is a typo. Okay, it's working fine. Let's just submit it. Later. Yeah, it got submitted. So let me just copy it, and I will just copy it from here. I will upload it in my GitHub repository. Okay, you can go and download it from there very easily.